Tech just got pole position.
All right, we're back in. Apologies. There's no storm here, but I had a power surge. Actually, I had like 2 or 3 in a row, so that was unfortunate. But I do believe we're back.
Yes, I see us on the stream. Everything seems to be working. And just so everybody knows, Tech has gotten provisional pole by six. What is that? 600 tenths, hundred thousandths of a second. 6 thousandths of a second on the medium tires. And he has 3 laps on those tires.
That is. Ooh. And Sin crosses the line at the end to take pole position away from him by almost half a second. But it is on those soft tires, so I think Tacto will be in a pretty decent position.
Yeah, P2. He is going to be on semi-used mediums, which again he'll be able to pit a little bit later than Sinfox, unless Sinfox can find a way to make these soft tires just last long and be able to hold off Tack. But I think Tack's definitely going to go for the undercut here. But qualifying is all wrapped up and finished. And Simfox takes provisional pole. Oh, Rosefest coming in very hot with a 1:34.2 with just beating Simfox by 0.5 hundredths of a second. We are going to have a race tonight. I'm very excited about this now.
It's going to make it quite interesting. Especially with Tack starting on those medium tires. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Let's look at the order your qualifying lineup. Rosefest will take pole position. Congratulations to him. That is his third pole position this season. Simfox in second, Tack in P3, Ua, D's Grills, True Player 247, Sadist, The Action, Nile, Madman, Hollers, and Bicorps. That is your grid for tonight at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix right here at the Apollo Racing Club. We're live on Twitch. And man, I'm excited for this race. Just a little background information. I had an old roommate who used to live with me until about 2 weeks ago who is actually originally from Dubai and has been to Yas Island and has seen the F1 track and has been the Ferrari world out there. So that is definitely a bucket list place to go. And then if you haven't seen it, the actual what Yas Island is, it's an absolute gorgeous place. Lots of partying to do out there. I think that's why Formula One loves to go out to Abu Dhabi for the last race of the year.
It's an interesting track, and they obviously spent a whole lot of money on it. And I'm not saying it's a bad track. I'm just saying I suck at it personally. So, fun fact from the chat here: apparently, Tact hasn't raced Abu Dhabi at all with us because we have kind of changed up the systems in which the tracks are selected. Throughout the seasons, but it usually gets vetoed because not a lot of people like to race here. But Tier 2 obviously did not veto it. So we are here for the formation lap, and it looks like Ua's driver is standing. Not quite sure what's happening here with his driver. Oh, and he's back in his car now. He was kind of standing up on it. A little Codemaster's fun for you.
Codemaster's having a good time with us tonight, as I say sarcastically. But once again, let's go through our grid again. Rose Fox at pole position, followed by Sim Fox. That is our championship title run tonight. One of those two drivers will walk away champion, and you definitely got to feel excited for those two, seeing them in the first and second positions. Tack will be in P3. He'll be on 3-lap old mediums. That's definitely might make an impact on his race. He could be able to perform an undercut, maybe get onto the hard tires earlier, and then make a run at the softs. He does have a chance to win this race tonight. If he gets a good start and he takes the lead, it could really disrupt this title fight. And Righteous, who are you looking at as the driver that's going to be a huge impact tonight?
Well, Niall starting down there 9th on the mediums. If he can stay out of trouble and make those last, I think he's going to be quite a disruption to the top of the field here. Because as he comes through after their first pit stop, he's going to have a bit of life left on them. He's going to pit onto those hards, and the rest of the drivers are going to have 2 more pit stops while he's out there on the track. So it could get quite interesting. I think Niall's going to be a wrench in the works here. Again, as long as he can stay clean, he's going to be right in the middle of some stuff going on here through the first few turns. We'll see what the top few drivers can do getting away, because turn one can obviously be a mess in any track, but the first sector with those really fast left, right, left turns, you're going to see a lot of drivers going off, and if you get on those curves at too much speed, it can really loosen you up a bit too much.
And of course, you can always join us on Discord if you are interested in joining any of the leagues. We have F1 2020, iRacing, ACC, AC, and Dirt Rally 2.0. So we are getting ready for the final race of the year, Tier 2 ARC finale. And the lights go out, and what a fantastic start by Rosefest. He is going to be leaving Simfox in the dust. Tack is not able to keep up, though, as they go into turn 1, and they're going to go right down this straight, and they're going to get into this first DRS zone. But no DRS enabled until lap 3. But Rosefest, an absolutely fantastic start. He's almost a second ahead of Simfox. But Simfox, not a great start there, Righteous.
No, almost a second behind now as we get some action. Speaking of action did have some issues and got spun around after the first turn. We get some wheel-to-wheel stuff going on here with a few of these mid-pack drivers. We come up to the first of one of the very long straights. Everyone is starting to spread out a bit. Sen is now well over a second off Rosefest, and all these other drivers are really going to put some work in on tact here as we come run these first couple laps. If you can get away from them, stay out of their DRS range. DRS is very powerful around here because of these super long straights. You can gain a whole lot of speed coming down these straights. We have Ua, D's Grills, and Sadis in very close proximity to each other. It looks like D's Grills bumped into the back of Ua just a little bit. Didn't seem to affect him too much, but he does have some damage to that right front wing as lost to the end plate. So that is going to be difficult for him. A lot of high-speed turns here.
A lot of high-speed turns as we're coming through the middle of Sector 3, probably the toughest section of the track. Riding on board with Sadis, he is tracking down Ua, but Ua is just going to get a nice exit there, and he is going to run away. But yeah, like you said, the midfield very close. Tack is within just 0.7 seconds now of Simfox, and Simfox very slow. It's very surprising. Tack is able to get a hold of him on the straight using the slipstream, using the toe to his advantage. And Rosefest, he is kind of just by himself. He is taking off like with this race like Lewis Hamilton did this past weekend. And everything is kind of just not going well for Simfox. He is very worried. I'm guessing he's very worried. There's a 3-second penalty for D's Grills for track limits. So that's not good. Seeing already 3-second penalties. We're only in lap number 2 here.
Niall and Hollers have already pit. Looks like they both took some damage and decided to just not deal with that and get in some clean air now. And it looks like they're both on the soft tires, so Niall's potential strategy goes out the window.
Yes, a 2-stop. If he was thinking about doing a 2-stop, this might turn from a 2-stop to a 3-stop. Or he's going to have to go on hards or something.
The in-game insight says this is actually a 3-stop race, but it's not actually. You can make the softs last a little bit longer, so it's more of a 2-stop race. That was quite interesting to see.
Now we're seeing true player 247. He is starting to catch up some ground on the attack. And he's doing very well through this third sector. He is keeping up. Can he stay within range as we're going to get ready for lap number 3? Rosefest putting up the fastest time of the race with 1:39.7 on those softs. And here we go. The pen. And well, excuse me, we're already back on the straight through turn 1 with True Player. And he is actually going to stay within DRS range.
Yep. Tact. Ooh, Tact already overtaking Sin going into the first sector. I wasn't quite sure what happened there. Sin must have had some issues because he had quite a distance, but he will have DRS on Tact coming back down this long straight. And True Player could possibly get a... he's a little too far away now, but he's going to pull up a lot of space on both of these guys into the second DRS straight. He could have a chance for a 3-wide situation at the end here if they can both keep it clean and get good traction coming out of here. Looks like they both get a little leery on that, and Sin has not opened his wing.
He has not. Sin actually fell out of DRS zones right at the last second in the detection zone, and that's a huge loss for him. He lost so much time, and he is just having troubles. He is having trouble staying on this track. True Player, he might actually catch up to Simfox. Simfox might just not be able to win the title. Something has to be wrong with his setup or with his pedals or something, because he's not looking nearly as fast as he did in qualifying.
Yeah, he does not have any damage, but now, yeah, we're only 3 laps in, and he's already got 30% wear on the rear tires. And Tact on those mediums, only at 20% wear all around or so. So it's going to be Tact setting that fastest lap now, partially due to that DRS. Let's see if he can make up any time to Rosefest, as Sin is now falling behind. He's having some issues. Again, those soft tires, not great here.
And it looks like he's also having some ping issues. Obviously, all of our league races happen online. We are not on a LAN server. But he is just definitely having some trouble just staying on the track. Ooh, very slow through that corner, through that hairpin. And now he just lost so much time. True Player is within a half a second of him. He's going to put on the DRS and overtake. Can he find something? He's down to 40% now on his ERS. But he's going to make that overtake so clean, and he is going to just take third place away from Simfox. And Simfox is just not having a race. And you got to feel bad for the man. He might not be able to get into this DRS zone. He does. He's going to open that wing up. And Righteous, what do you think is actually happening with Simfox right now?
Maybe he's in his own head. You can't really tell. I mean, he hasn't picked up any penalties yet. He's getting very loose through a lot of these corners. So I think it's a combination of maybe trying to push too hard with the fact that those softs are getting very, very hot on him. He's well over 100 degrees on most of his tires coming through a lot of these corners. So he's really pushing hard to try and make up some time, and I think he needs to get out of his own head and remember that slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and just drive his drive, and you know, the fact that I've seen him, you know, beat both of the guys in front of him on track, I think he has the skill to do it. He just needs to take a breath and take a beat and settle in, and maybe get off these softs. Maybe it's time to just, you know, pit for some mediums now and get in some clean air and just drive your own race for a little bit.
He has 25% on his left front and 28% on the right front tire. So, but he is starting to catch some ground on True Player. True Player is also struggling through these turns, losing the rear just a bit.
Tact, though, is now already within DRS range again of Rosefest, again, showing how those medium tires are doing him a lot better here.
Yeah, this is the medium tire looking very strong here.
Ooh,
Takt's a little loose there. That's not good. He's going to lose time, but he stays within DRS range. Ooh, I thought he was going into the wall there for a minute. I thought, you know, we were going to see him pull a George Russell today.
He did pick up a on-track penalty, but I'm sure that he can get that warning removed if that's his only. Even if he gets more, he can get that one removed, because he should not get a 3-second warning for getting a little loose and losing, obviously, a lot of time. He did not gain any time by fighting that
No.
that situation.
These Grills picks up another penalty. That's his second 3-second penalty. He's up to 6 seconds. So he has a little bit of a uphill battle now as he's sitting in P6. Let's switch over to him in the red Ferrari.
He's got a couple cars right on his tail. One almost within action, almost within DRS of Madman. But Madman is definitely in that range, is staying on him. So he's with D's with that wing damage is going to have some issues with some of these right hand turns.
It looks like Deeds Grills is having some problems. He is having a lot of oversteer. It's a lot of snapping back to the center, and ooh, Madman looking for a move there, but decided to get out of it last minute. He might have to wait for the straight. He is within DRS range as they are pulling down to this first straight. He is still within that DRS range. He's going to use his overtake button. He's down to 23%. He only uses it for a quick second, which is smart, but these Grills kind of knows what's happening here. He's going to get real close. Can the move possibly happen here as these Grills defends the inside? Kind of just pulled.
Tact has while we were following that, Tact has overtaken Rosefest now. Rosefest is already a second behind in the third sector. Could not gain enough time on him. So
he's soft. Yeah, the soft compound looking like it's not working. Wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing the leaders here start going for some medium tires here in the next few laps, because if they right now as it sits, Rosefest will be the world champion. Tack will potentially win this race though. That's a huge card into this, that Tack will win this, and Rosefest might not be able to get those full 25 points.
All Sin needs is, I believe, a 10-point advantage at the end of this race over. Is it 10 points? Oh no!
And Tack, he overdrives it and loses the rears, and he's going to spin out. He loses 2 positions. True Player is going to move up to second place. So, and Ua moves up a place now. Ooh, very interesting there. I don't know if you caught that, Righteous, but
right at the end.
Spinning out. Yeah, spinning out there. Just a little bit overdriving there.
And that's what I was saying. Coming through those turns, you got to really got to stay on the gray stuff there, because those curbs are quite slick.
Madman is losing a lot of time here to these Grills. These Grills kind of pulled a gap a little bit, as we were talking about earlier. This is a kind of an interesting fight for P5.
It is, and that's caused action now to catch up to both of them. And as they come to the end of this second DRS straight, let's see who has the fastest time through Sector 3, because you can gain or lose a whole lot of time here.
Madman, he's
keeping it together, even though he's got that wing damage, keeping these guys behind him.
Just enough. He's been doing a great job defending on the inside, especially, Sector 3. You have so many tight turns that you'd have to kind of shift a little bit, try and make some outside moves, but we are going to see these guys starting to go into the pit lane. These Grills and Madman heading into the pits, and the action's going to go ahead and take some position. 2 Player going into the pits, going on to the mediums. Like I said, I wasn't going to be surprised if we were going to start seeing some guys dive for the pits and get on this medium tire, and it looks like that is what is going to work. Action, he's on soft tires. He's on 7-lap old softs. He might be heading to the pit. We're seeing more and more guys move into the pits, and Ua, he's going to be taking the lead of this race as he is on those soft tires. Tack, though, is within a second. He's going to be in that DRS range as they fall in here. They're going to be hitting that.
Elected to go for another set of softs.
Well, if you got them, use them, I guess. Make it a 2-stop, potential 3-stop race, and it looks like Tack is going to go ahead and overtake Ua here, and what a fantastic pass by Tack, as he is going to continue on here, but He is on old mediums. Uwa's going to probably dive here for the pits. That would be probably the wisest thing considering that the people behind him are on fresh mediums. He is sticking with tack through the penultimate corners here. And Righteous, what if you are leading, if you're tack right now, do you go into the pits now or do you wait?
He's got a few good laps left in those tires. Although he is, just like everyone else, getting very loose. As the game tells him his pit window is now open, although that's quite a pit window, lap 9 to 16. We now have a RPM bug for Tact, but I stay on him. If I feel like I still got pace, I stay on him. And now I don't have anyone chasing me. It's just me against myself. My defense is not the greatest for me personally. So when I'm kind of driving by myself, I can put in very good times. We're going to move on because we're not going to subject everyone to that noise.
No, but look, if we go back to Ua here, Ua is on that hard tire, actually. He goes to the hards, and he is very close to Niall. Niall having some struggle on the soft tires. Ooh, we got very close to the bumpers there of the cars, almost touching there. And now Ua's going to have DRS. He's going to use that overtake button on this first DRS zone. Can he get past Niall? Niall's going to take the inside. He's going to go back outside. Can Ua find a way? No, he's going to back out of that through this 90-degree turn. A little slow there from Niall, kind of holding up Ua as he is on those fresh tires.
And I think Ua is going for the move now. I think he backed off a little bit because he knew that Niall would have DRS on the next straight after him. But he did not capitalize as much as he possibly could, and they're side by side, and they touch, and Ua spins.
Ua spins. And he is, that's a heartbreaker for him. He was looking so good and so strong, but sadly just couldn't quite get enough room there. But wouldn't surprise me to see if Ua maybe reports that, because he was shoved off the track, was given no space. But Tack, he is very comfortable right now. He has a 10-second lead over Rosefest, but he also needs to pit. And how much time do you lose in the pit lane here?
Pretty standard pit, but you know what? I don't know. Maybe the chat knows. Any pit is 20 to 25 seconds on average, right? So he's already lost half a second to Rosefest already. So he's going to have to gain a lot of time. I mean, if he were to come out right now, he would still be down in... let's switch over to the leader times. Yeah, he'd come out around probably 5th to 7th place at the moment if he were to pit right now. But, that could change in a few laps.
Very well could have. I think Tack, he's going to move onto the hard tire?
If he's going to move onto the hard, I think in his own head, he's probably going to make the mediums last as long as possible. So might see a couple more laps out of those, because if the mediums are only going to last 10, then you really have faith in the hards to last 18. He'll probably take them to 12 at most. But he does know that Rosefest is going to have... Well, he knows that everyone else, except for Ua, if he's paying attention, if he knows what's happening, he knows that everyone else is going to have to pit again. So it's not going to matter too much to him, because as long as he can stay within about 20 seconds of the leader, then he'll stay in the net lead.
Ua, he's still within a second of Madman here, and you are on your end there, Righteous. We're watching Madman's onboard there, and a few corners ago, I can't remember which corner it was, but it was almost like a brake check. It looked like Madman really locked up, did not have that braking zone quite right. And Ua almost just ran into the back of him. Luckily, was able to swerve around him, loses a bit of time, and now he's just down a second. But Madman, he is now within a second of Niall, and he is on fresh soft. So Niall, he's in big trouble here as we are going back through Sector 1 and going back down to hairpin. Niall, very loose on the back end, does not have the traction. He's losing grip like crazy. He gets a little oversteer there, and he is just and Madman's gonna take full advantage of that, gonna clear him with no problems.
Yeah, he had the traction coming out of the hairpin. He had already overtaken him even before the line. for DRS there, but Niall will have DRS coming onto the second straight here, so Madman's going to have to use quite a bit of energy to stay ahead.
Niall using his overtake button with DRS. And it looks like Madman, he's not even going to touch his overtake button. He knows he can potentially pull off a lead here, especially through this sector 3. He knows he's just a little bit faster. And yep, that's right. Madman, he is really trying to pull off a huge gap here. He is already almost a second as we come through the final turns. Niall not just able to keep up with him.
Like I said,
so
here we are.
Madman.
Sorry, lap 12. Tact is in the pits. So we will see where he comes out.
He's
and
on
he
the
is on the soft tires. Okay, interesting. It looks like he's going for medium soft, which, you know, I've seen work plenty, but you know, we still got 16 laps left here, so he's gonna have to pit again.
It's a long time. We still haven't seen a safety car, which is, as you said, if the safety car was going to happen, it would happen early in the race. We're in that mid-race now. And Rosefest now has a second lead over Simfox, who ended up pitting. He's on 4-lap old medium tires. Hopefully he can somehow catch up here. Ooh, almost. I thought he was going to late break there. Luckily, got it just in time, turns in, and now he's going to be catching up very quickly here to Rosefest. So the race kind of getting a little bit closer now. Simfox, Rosefest, the world title contenders for Tier 2. Being decided tonight at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and everything is just who knows what could happen here. We could see someone just completely fail a braking zone or completely go off the track here. We get a safety car and bring everybody back into the bunch here. Weather looking very good. Don't think that any rain is on the radar for this evening, but that could change.
Our unofficial man in the pits are one of the race engineers for the race engineer for the Alphas. Mr. Chipsy has told us it is clear all the way through.
That is absolutely perfect. I don't think we want to end the finale with some rain and really mix things up. But depends on what you like.
Keep things interesting.
It could be interesting, but Tack back out on the track. He is in P4 now, and he is pressing hard. He wants to try and catch up the true player here, who is 8 seconds ahead of Tack in the Mercedes-Benz. And first up, we want to congratulate Mercedes on their 7th constructor titles in Formula One. So a huge achievement by them. So obviously keeping motorsports rolling here. Trying to find some action here. These grills. Oh, we have a nice little train happening here behind UA between the action and the grills, or these grills. And action. He is going to go ahead and just try and make a move here. Can he get it on the 90-degree turn? He has to brake a little bit early, but doesn't get the move done as UA is on these hard tires, but the DRS is going to come enabled now. The overtake button is on. Action is going to go ahead and make that pass. And what a pass there. And UA is going to be kind of kicking himself there, not trying to defend a little bit harder at that 90-degree turn. And the action, he is going to be hunting down as we are heading into lap traffic. The action is going to be catching up with the Ferrari of Niall, and Niall not having the best race tonight.
No, made a decision to pit rather early, and just been having trouble getting traction down. So unfortunate to see as Tax sets the fastest lap. That's important. Remind us again the points for Rosefest and Sin, if you have it up.
Yes, Rosefest with 192 and Simfox with 183.
Yeah, 9 points. So Sin's going to have to win this and then some.
Yep.
9 point spread. I mean, it's only 7 points that separate first and second, so he's got to hope that something happens. Now, as far as you were saying, the safety cars earlier, we could still see one. We could see someone get too loose and get in the wall. Oh, Tack going for a move on True Player. True Player does not give him some room. Kind of squeeze him to the line. It doesn't give Tact the opportunity. Some decent defending here, a little cheeky, but Tact will have DRS again on the next straight. Has lots of energy at his disposal, and I don't think he's going to go for a move here. He's just going to stay. He looks, but decides against it, trying to instill maybe a little bit of fear in True Player here, hoping to goad him into making some kind of mistake that Tact can capitalize on. We will see if Tact goes for a move. He does have a traction advantage. Ooh, goes for a dive on True Player, but they have a little contact. Tact gets a little loose, but manages to keep it together. Live to fight another day here, as they'll come around for another lap, and I'm sure that he will get him on the coming straights.
Most definitely. And Mr. Chipsy in the chat asking if we could get those lap times back up. Of course we can. And
yeah, Tact with the fastest lap by 1.4 seconds or so, it looks like. So very quick from him indeed. He is flying on those soft tires now that the car is lightened up and the track is rubbered in a little bit. We are on board with him as he is in DRS. No overtake, going for a move on True Player. True Player gets out of the way, knowing that it's inevitable and it's going to happen. So, but Tact will have to make sure that he keeps his advantage down this next straight. He's going to use a decent amount of energy to get up to speed here, but he's I think he's gotten clear True Player, and now he's just got 9.5 seconds to hunt down Sin, who is still just holding within 2 seconds of Rosefest, but doesn't seem to be gaining too much.
Well, he seems to be gets him back a little more confident. He's not all over the track like he was at the beginning of this race, so he must have calmed down, calmed his nerves, being like, hey, you know, right now he won't win the championship, he won't win the title, but he definitely just needs to stick with it and stick with Rosefest here if he even wants to have a chance at potentially winning this race, because you never know. You want to maybe win this race, end the season on a high. But Rosefest, if he finishes P2, that's not enough. That won't give Sim Fox the win. Rosefest has to finish P3 or under, and Sim Fox has to finish at least P1 right now in order to have a chance.
Yeah, and he has the opportunity to, if he can match anywhere close to Tact's speed, if he goes for an undercut onto those soft tires, he might be able to pull that time out and at least get track position on Rose. But they're going to come up. I don't know. He's going to have to get a little bit closer to him, I think, before he makes that decision. And he's got some decent amount of energy. Rosefest has a ton left on board. So Sin is doing what he can to catch up right now. It looks like his Madman is fighting with D's in action still for that fifth position here. Madman overtakes D's and looks for a move on the inside of action, but backs off.
What an action-packed group we have here from P5 to P8. P8. Yep. So definitely something we got to keep our eyes. Yeah, we got to keep our eyes on this, because a lot of these drivers actually, because Stewie 3K is not here, he'll get a did not start 0 points. Bicorps is in 11th right now, out of the points. Ua has 23 points this season. He could move up a couple of positions in the standings with a good showing today. Madman, he's sitting P13. He could actually bump himself into the top 10 right now with a win, because we're Bicorps and Sadis right now kind of just riding in the back. So, and Zeke not being here, so some different things happening with the middle of the pack here and with the standings concerning points. So when you don't show up to races, it definitely makes a kind of an impact on the standings.
D's getting some very good traction out of the hairpin. going for a move on Madman even before the DRS line. Now his DRS open and is pulling some distance on Madman as Ua back there behind Madman as well. As Madman does a little moving to block him off, but both of those drivers will have DRS again. Madman getting very loose, losing a lot of time in that traction zone.
And Ua's going to get a nice clean pass on the outside, and a nice little DRS train going to be coming up here soon as we are going through Sector 3 and just right at the start there. But these grills, he's now up to 9 seconds. Oh, that's going to hurt him if he can't find a little bit of a gap here between these three drivers.
Yeah, and they've been so close, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I hope these guys have to know that he's got those penalties. Madman struggling about 50% wear on these soft tires. Probably see a pit from him very soon. Well, right now, actually.
So enough is enough. And he's going to get on out of here. Ua, he is going to be pushing hard. He is on the white stripe hard tire. 8 laps on those. He does. I think he could still last longer than these grills. I think even with the penalties, these grills will lose this position eventually, but these grills is catching up to the action. And action, he's kind of all alone. He doesn't have anybody who he can DRS off of. So this is going to be very interesting as these grills is now half a second into the first DRS. Can he find a way? He isn't going to use overtake, but looking at these grills, he is on standard fuel mode, so he has to kind of not push nearly as hard. I know his gas indicator was up because he might, you don't want to run out of fuel here in the final race with 10 laps to go. DRS coming on, not using that overtake with now just 10% ERS. He's going to just hold on to that for a while because he might know that the action does have a little bit more battery charge in that. He has 38%. So what is your kind of strategy here as you're just sitting through the midfield? You have 10 laps left. Are you going to try and maybe get off these mediums, go on softs again, go on the hard tire? What's kind of the plan here if you're sitting in the middle of this pack?
Well, for Dees and well, I'm not quite sure for Ua because he doesn't have his telemetry on, but Dees is floating right around that sort of even 0 point of excess fuel. The action has 2 extra laps of fuel, and he can really gain some time. I mean, he could really stick it in rich and just move on these guys, and that's what I would do to try and kind of pull some distance on them. Obviously, I don't know what the other, as a driver, you wouldn't know what the other guys have on board. If you don't have an engineer maybe letting you in on that information. But even given that, Dees is managing to stick with action. For tires, it's going to be time to pit soon. I mean, we're coming up on the soft tires will last those 8 laps towards the end, especially on low fuel here. And if we look at the leaderboard, we got all these drivers floating around the 20 to 26 seconds here from 4th to 7th. When the leaders pit, when the top 3 pit, they're going to drop down far, and Ua is going to be in a very solid position, especially when these other guys pit as well, unless they plan on taking these mediums to the end, which I don't think is the wisest move, but as it looks, they could pull it off.
These grills almost going into the back of the action. The action kind of early braked and almost gave these grills a little some damage there, but these grills sticking with him on 10 lap old.
Ooh, he gets
medium.
very loose. Sorry.
Ooh.
D's got extremely loose coming into the final couple corners there.
Tack. He ended up pitting for softs, so we're going to start seeing some softs actually, potentially, if Tack is moving to that. But Simfox, he is going to pick up a position here, and he is getting very close to True Player. Simfox is on new medium tires, so he's going to stick on the mediums. He's going to use that overtake button as he can use that ERS and try and get a little bit of time back. try and catch up with Rosefest here. Looking at the intervals, SimFox is only a second away from True Player, but 17-second gap. That's a pretty comfortable gap. I know if anything, Rosefest, if he were to pit right now, he would probably fall down to P3 at the most. So he might be considering pitting in right now. Actually, he's had those medium tires for 11 laps, and that's got to be a long time.
Yeah, he's in a good position to try and play off the other drivers, but he is so far up ahead, and he is going into the pits. It's like we think it and it happens.
I love it. It's perfect. Predict something, make it happen. I wish most sports would work like that. Maybe my teams would win some more. But Madman, he's going to pick up a 3-second penalty. True Player is going to fall into the pits as well. He is going to probably go on to the softs. Rosefest moving to the softs. And SimFox, he's going to try and beat out Rosefest here on the medium tires. And he does. So he might take an advantage here. Can he? He's looking very confident now that he's on the mediums. I think he's very comfortable on that tire. I think the soft just wasn't going to work out for him in the long run. So let's see here. Rosefest, he's in that P3 position. Can he catch up the TAC, though? TAC running in P2. And this is it. This is the title. If SimFox wins this, and if the race ends as it stands, SimFox will become the Tier 2 champion.
Yeah, this is quite an interesting turn here. Kind of all worked out for Sim, but we got 7 laps left and 2 guys behind him on soft tires. What he can really hope for is that they really battle it out with each other, but they're both about a 2-second spread overall from Sin. I don't know if he has... he's got some energy and some fuel. He really needs to turn this up and try and gain a little bit of time on these guys right now.
Yeah, he really does. And really the wild card in all of this is going to be TAC. TAC already has this position secured. He has P3. That's it. So he has nothing to really lose this race. So he might be going for... Oh, and SimFox is having some connection issues, so hopefully those work itself out. TAC is actually going to get the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.5, but TAC, he might be a little more aggressive now. Now that he knows he has nothing to lose or gain from this, he might get a little aggressive, and that could, as we see a lot of the times in other sports, when teams start to, when they don't have anything to lose, they get a little aggressive and start to play some tricks onto some people. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here. But all of the top 3, all within a second of each other. The DRS coming in from TAC. He's going to try and overtake SimFox here. And that's going to take SimFox out of contention of the World Championship title. And this is not good news for him. He is going to be very upset. And Rosefest is very close to him as well. So we're going to see these last few laps here being very exciting here, Righteous.
Oh, very exciting. Yeah, if they can all stick together, we could just see it'd be nice if we could just see just a constant exchange of DRS zone. If Sin can keep up with TAC here through the end and get that DRS, because if he can't, then Rosefest is going to get by him, and it's going to be all over.
Rosefest is just right all over the rear wing of SimFox. SimFox has to defend. He has to defend like he's never defended before if he wants a chance to win this title. And not only has he has to defend, he also has to push super hard.
Yeah, now's the time to not worry about saving anything. Get in that DRS range and just kind of throw everything you have at it right now and hope it sticks. But he has fallen out of DRS range. He's going to have to be brave on the brakes here and gain some of that time into these sections coming up. Rosefest is gonna get that pass here on him.
He's going to find a way into this, especially as we come into the first straight here at the Abu Dhabi Marina Circuit, at the Yas Island Marina Circuit, excuse me. And now the DRS is on, and the overtake was on for just a little bit, and that's going to be an easy clean pass for Rosefest as he just gets back on the throttle, and he's going to run away with this. So Tack now out in the lead by just right over a second and a half now. And poor Sim Fox, he's got to feel absolutely gutted the fact that he is now P3 and his hopes of being the champion this season are coming to an end here.
My next hope is Rose catches Tact and they get tangled up. I mean, that's really all you can kind of wish for right now. And that's to take nothing away from these guys over the past 12 races. They've all done an excellent job keeping it very close and tight. And, you know, with Tact coming in earlier on in the season and kind of throwing a wrench into things and kind of a, you know, Rosefest has still been winning. Sin has been doing very well. I don't have the standings in front of me, so I can't really call out any positions at the moment, but you know, all these guys, well deserved. And Sin used to drive with us in T1, but I think it was a scheduling issue that kind of prevented him from driving with us on those nights. I might be wrong there, but Rosefest has been doing some reserve driving for Tier 1, and we're going to see a lot of these guys in the T1 for next season, as we will be changing our schedule up to do T1 races on Sunday nights, and the T2 races will be on Monday.
I'm very excited. Tier 3, I was in Tier 3 this season. Absolutely fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Definitely something I looked forward to on Monday nights. So very happy about starting the season back up here in a couple of weeks. And let's get back to the action. The one thing we haven't talked about for a while is this battle between 4th and 5th now. We're seeing Ua. He is going to be pushing really hard. He is on 14-lap old hards, and these grills is on 15-lap mediums. So the grip and the traction completely different on these tires. And Ua, he might be able to steal a place here if these grills. He might have to go to the pits. I don't know how he can last 4 more laps on those tires.
Well, he is, he's sitting around 50% on the fronts and 65% on the rears on those wears. So Ua is in a much better position, even though I can't see his wear percentage right now for traction as we were on with Dees a little bit, seeing him get a little loose as we're on board with Ua and watching Dees have some trouble getting that traction down. So I think Ua needs to stay patient. What is the highest position for Ua this season so far?
Ua,
highest finishing position.
He has finished 10th. Oh, excuse me. He finished P3. It looks like that happened at Mexico.
So not too long ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yep, he finished 3rd. So this will be his second highest finishing position this season.
Well, he has to know that Dees has those penalties, and Ua himself, I don't know how many penalties he has, because again, telemetry. Dees
oh no!
Very
oh
loose.
no!
I thought they were going to touch, and there was going to be quite an incident there. But Ua's looks like he's going for it. He's got overtake still on. I think he's tired of being behind him, and he is going for this move. Let's see if we can keep it clean coming through here. As True Play is now caught up to the back of both of these guys as they've been fighting. D is getting very loose, having some trouble getting that traction down. It goes very wide coming into Sector 3. Has to take the runoff. And like I was going to say, Ua has to know he's got penalties.
Yep.
Probably more than him, so even if he never got by him, he still would have gotten that 4th position.
These grills actually spun. He's off track. He's completely out of this race. He keeps continuing to fall here, and everybody's gaining a position on him. Sad. He's got to feel absolutely gutted. I thought he had a decent chance here, and now Simfox, as he is falling away here from Rosefest.
Niall back up to 6th, but going into the pits. Sorry.
Good call out there, Niall. He's going to go back in the pits. Wouldn't surprise me if he's going to go on the soft, maybe try instead of fastest lap time. But we're seeing a battle here.
Yeah, just to steal away between Action and Madman. Yep.
Yeah. What a damage for Niall. Thank you, Chipsy. Damage for Niall. That's not a good sign. That is not what you want to hear, especially with 2 laps remaining here in this race. But P6 here, this is going to be a battle to the finish. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here. DRS coming available for the action. He's going to use that, but he's going to hold on to that He's not going to use that overtake as his battery is down just to 8%, but he is just so much a little bit quicker than Madman. But he pulls out of the move, and these grills goes ahead and retires from this race. Sad day for him. He's got to feel absolutely gutted, but the action, he's going to be going for the outside move here. Can he find a way to get past Madman? No, Madman does a great job defending on the inside. And then he's going to try and just defend for his life. There is a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2, so they got to be cautious through there, as I'm guessing that is these grills who retired just not too long ago.
Yeah, it looks like his ghost AI is out there driving on the track, and that happens sometimes. Even if you retire while you're coming into the pits, the game will still send your car out, so it causes those yellow flags to come up through those sectors as the car kind of goes around to actually find a spot to retire off to the side. But yeah, Action's still right on top of Madman here. Action with not a lot of energy, and Madman a little bit still on board, so he's going to make Action work for it.
He is an Action, even though he is on that soft tire. Those soft tires are only 3 laps old, so it's going to be interesting to see how hard Madman's going to push. Ooh, he gets a little bit wide. This is an opportunity now for Action. Can he get alongside him? They're going to go wheel to wheel down the straight, and right at the DRS zone, Action's going to pull the move, and he is going to get clear of him, of Madman, and the Action is going to pick up P6 now as we are 2 laps away from the end of this one. And Ua, he is really sticking hard with these hard tires, and he's actually caught up the True player. He's actually only within he's within DRS range, but man, 17 lap old tires. You got to wonder, can he manage to keep up with True player? Ooh, not a great turn there though.
Well, he seems to be doing a pretty decent job. True Player's tires only 5 laps old, so he's still got plenty of life left in him. But looks like Ua's, turning it up here towards the end, just trying to get those extra positions. I don't know what kind of penalties either of these guys have at the moment. Another yellow flag in the pit sector. Looks like Sadist retired as well.
Sadist, another driver who has performed pretty well this season according to the standings, having the DNF from this race. And now we are getting to the end of this one. It's lap 28, the final lap. The white flag is out, and Tack, he's going to take a win here, the final win, and that will be his 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th win of this season. And he is also going to probably have that beautiful extra point for the fastest lap. What a fantastic race by him as he's coming through the final turns. And really, Tack drove an amazing race. Caught up with Rosefest, who had an amazing start, and Rosefest is going to be our champion as well. Huge congratulations to all these drivers. Tack winning the Grand Prix tonight, and Rosefest, what is this? You said season 5?
I have no idea right now. I'd have to look.
But he will be, Rosefest will take the checkered flag as the Tier 2 World Champion of F1 2020 this season, followed by Sinfox, True Player. He is going to be pushing really hard as we're going to go back to the action here. And it's not going to be enough. Ua coming across the line in P5. The action coming across in P6 here very shortly. He drove in another amazing race.
Well driven by by all these guys. Unfortunate incidents for some drivers having to pit for extra wings, but Uwe on those hard tires definitely put in a very nice performance. To make that decision and to show that they can actually last around here, but the drivers at the top just walked away with it.
You're absolutely right. And wow, what a season for these guys. It came down to the final race. We weren't sure who was going to win the title, but it's going to be
Rosefest.
Rosefest, this season's title winner. Congratulations to him. And I guess we get to do the best part of the night, and that is pick the driver of the day. And Righteous, will start with you.
A really tough one. Really hard to call here. Everyone did an excellent job and performed as I thought they might, but I think maybe I want to give it to a True Player for this race. He started in 6th and finished in 4th, but it's a good 4th finish, no penalties. Drove pretty clean and very well. I think that's who I'm going to go with myself.
With True Player. Okay. All right. So looking at the final standings here, the final results, and I'm going to agree with you. True Player drove an amazing race. He picked up no penalties throughout the course of the race, as the majority of drivers, Sadis with 15 seconds, Tack with a few seconds as well. So True Player, driver of the day. Congratulations to him. And that's going to do it. That's it for F1 here at Apollo Racing Club. And what a season it has been. In Righteous, you've been around a lot longer. What really sum up this season?
Well, I've only coming to season 2, or not season 2, coming to tier 2, just doing a couple races. It's just been very close at the top. All the tiers have been, well, tier 3 has been, I think, the most exciting myself. Everyone there improved so much. For tier 2 here, we had some good fights, and then Tact coming in and kind of mixing up the last half of the season really kind of threw a wrench in things, but great driving from everybody. It's just been it's been kind of fun, and there's been a lot of good battles.
And I will say that was a great race. It was very fun, very action-packed, as we saw in the middle of the pack, in the midfield. Lots of action happening. So, well, what's now after this, you ask?
I am going to see if we can pull Rose and Sin in.
Yes. Let's talk to those two.
I will be right back.
Our P1 and P2.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna pull you into the commentary.
You had that nice pass on him, on Madman.
Sin and Rose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull you in.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Gentlemen, welcome to the interview paddock.
We got our two top drivers of Tier 2 and, of course, our champion this year.
Hello.
Best. Hell of a good drive, my friend. Hell of a good drive. How do you feel winning the championship this year?
Oh, it's amazing. It's really, it was a long one. It was a very tough one. Sin pushed me all the way till the last race. As you can see, the gap in the points was very, very short. So, small gap. It was fun, very intense actually. So, yeah, thanks guys for that sweet racing.
And Sin Fox, looked like you struggled there in the early part of the race. What was happening?
The softs just wouldn't work for me. I don't entirely know why. Probably something with my setup, but yeah, just after 6 laps or so with the softs, they started to fall apart, and I needed to get off of them as soon as I could.
Yeah, we were talking about that towards the end with maybe you getting an undercut on Rose and be able to come out in a decent position, and that's exactly what happened. Rose, when you went in and Sin was out there almost a couple seconds ahead of you, you kind of sweating a little bit.
Yeah. I was definitely monitoring what compound he'd choose, because 12 laps out or 13 laps still to do in the race. Soft was a little I don't know. I think it was a stretch, but yeah, I had to. I saw that he had so much pace. The undercut is so powerful, so I had to go long and then hope for an overtake on the softs.
Now,
Now,
yeah, go
were
ahead.
you hoping? Were you hoping for a grand finale like this, where the top two drivers in the league having to battle it out for the title?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have imagined this, because 12 races is very long. It's easy to build a gap, but that didn't happen. So yeah, it's amazing. That's really cool.
How about you, Simfox?
I think it's more fun this way. Keeps it entertaining through every race. So I enjoyed it very greatly. I thought all the racing was really good. Rose is a great competitor. I look forward to racing with him more next
Well-
season.
Well, you guys move on to Tier 1 next season, which a lot of great drivers. We're going to see Tack up there. We're going to see the action. What is going to be the biggest challenge as you guys will be moving up to Tier 1 next season?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think fighting in the mid pack maybe, because I think this season it's been a couple of us at the front. So usually you have to be a little. I don't know. You could go for moves. You know that there's not going to be too many people around. These tier one drivers are really fast. So learning to be a good mid pack driver and be safe, I think is what's going to be a challenge.
Sin has raced in Tier 1 with us before, and like I said before, Rosefest has been doing some reserves, and I've
Yeah, I'm kind
definitely
of in
been.
the same boat. When I was in Tier 1 before, my goal was consistent points, and that will be my goal moving into Tier 1 again.
I think Tier 1 is going to be very close, and I'm really excited to have everybody up there, especially now that somebody else is not racing, so we'll actually all have an opportunity to compete for the top. What do you
And-
think about Tact coming in, not only mid-season, but in the middle of you two right at the end of this race?
That was that was challenging, because that was it definitely added an element of unknown and uncertainty to that championship. Um, it just made the challenge even harder. Even though we didn't manage to beat TAC very often, I think maybe once. Yeah, that's fun though.
Well, you two put on an amazing show for us tonight. Congratulations on a heck of a good season, and Rosefest being the champion this year. You absolutely deserve it, a well-deserved victory, and I can't wait to see what happens here next season.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
All right,
thank you guys very much.
Thanks, and congrats.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
Well, that's going to wrap it up here for F1 2020 this season. We start up again in 2 weeks. If you're interested in joining, head on over to apolloracingclub.com and fill out the form to register. We still are looking for, I think we have spots filled, but we're always looking for reserve drivers, or just come hang out with us. And upcoming events, ACC starting up very soon. We start up this Saturday at the Hungar Ring. So tune in to the Apollo Racing Club Twitch channel for all of that. That's going to be an exciting race. I think we had 30 drivers register for that, righteous?
Yeah, we got a lot of. We've got two separate categories: pro and am. Pro being the more experienced drivers, and the amateur category, obviously, first timers, or kind of separated by speed here. Yeah, it's very full. I will be racing Saturday nights. I will miss the first week, but I'm looking forward. ACC is definitely good fun.
Oh yeah, 3 months of hardcore GT3 racing. Just like you said, you're going to be participating in it. I will be in there as well. So very excited. And then 2 weeks, we go ahead and start up F1 again with just 2 tiers full with 22 drivers. So you don't want to miss any of the action. Make sure to hit follow, join us on Discord. And that's it.
All right, thank you. This was enjoyable. I had a good time. Thanks for coming along tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was an awesome experience. Can't wait to do it again.
Good night.
Good night.